Hi, good morning, everyone. This is Carlos Gill, your MAPS group coach. We're going to go ahead and get started. Welcome to Social Media for Real Estate Agents. This is a 30-minute webinar that is being recorded for your convenience. If you wish to go ahead and play it back or share it with your office, this is going to be a 30-minute info session that is going to help you apply social media strategies into your business. If you have any questions at the end, you are more than welcome to ask them here in the chat, or you can send me an email to carlos@carlosgill.biz. So before we go ahead and get started with today's presentation, I want to take a moment to let you know about our social media marketing for real estate agents course that's offered through MAPS. This is a 4-week course which starts this coming Thursday, August 3rd at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. We do meet at the same time every Thursday, so that's 11 a.m. Central, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Once again, we meet every Thursday for 4 weeks consecutively. They are 4 one-hour webinars plus 30 minutes of Q&A. It is a really comprehensive deep dive to help you in mastering social media in your business. All of the sessions are recorded and available for playback at your convenience, and the cost of the 4-week course is $297 through MAPS. However, we do have a promotion today exclusive for those of you that are tuning into this webinar. You can actually save $50 on your registration when you go to register. You see the link there in front of you, and if you enter save 50, you can go ahead and save $50 on your registration, which brings the price of the course down. Now, a little bit about me. Once again, I am your coach. My name is Carlos Gill. I'm an experienced marketing executive and social media strategist. In fact, I've been working in social media now for almost a decade. I've worked for some large brands running social media. Some of them you might recognize if you're on the East Coast or in the Southeast. I used to run social media for Winn-Dixie, which is one of the largest supermarket chains in the country. I ran digital marketing for Save-A-Lot, and I also happened to work for LinkedIn for a period of time, which brought me out here to the West Coast of California, which is where I live today. I'm also an industry speaker, so you can find me at events like South by Southwest, Social Media Marketing World, where I've spoken at several times. I'm also proud to say I'm an award-winning Snapchat storyteller. So if you follow me on Snapchat, or if you want to follow me on Snapchat, you'll see my content on there. I've also been featured in several publications. I happen to write for Inc. magazine as well. So I put this in the context because you have a lot of social media thought leaders out there and bloggers and such, and I'm actually one of those that not only speaks at industry events, but also has, you know, a good amount of experience. A couple of fun facts about me on more of a personal level. I was born and raised in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and my mom and dad are real estate broker agents. So I've actually grown up around the real estate industry for as long as I can remember, and I've been able to help my parents tremendously in applying social media into their real estate business. So I'm really excited about partnering with Keller Williams as a MAPS group coach. This course that we are getting ready to kick off on Thursday is actually the 4th one that we've done since the beginning of the year. Hundreds of Keller Williams agents now have gone through the course, and they've seen a tremendous difference in their business. So what the course is going to go ahead and teach you is, first of all, everything that you need to know about social media marketing for real estate. So how to use Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, LinkedIn, as well as live video to help you sell more homes. So my goal is to help you be much more successful in your business and really help you understand at the core how you can apply social media into what you are already good at, which is selling more homes. A lot of what the course is going to entail is personal branding techniques. So personal branding you might have heard of. It's become very much a buzz term in the marketing space, or even in the PR influencer marketing space. But personal branding at the core is what helps you be much more relatable to your clients out there. Let's face it, at the end of the day, people relate to other people. So if you're not using social media, if anything, to make yourself much more relatable, then you're really missing out on one of the greatest opportunities of our lifetime, which is using social media to help you drive more referrals, using social media to help you be much more marketable through your own personal brand. And then as we start to go from social media into the future of real estate marketing. The course is going to teach you what you need to know about things like augmented reality, virtual reality, even Snapchat, which involves mixed reality with lenses and geofilters. And then throughout the 4 weeks, you're going to learn advanced strategies to help you win clients. So this is everything from tips and tricks for buying ads on Facebook, what tools to use for marketing across platforms, and how you can leverage emerging media for promoting listings. Now, before I get into today's content, and I promise this webinar today is going to give you some key tips and tricks for you to immediately apply, whether you sign up for the course or not. However, I do hope that you sign up for the course, because by the end of the 4-week course, you will have an advanced understanding of how social networks can be applied for marketing in real estate. This course is going to help you drive more website visits and clicks from posts. You will be known as a community resource and industry thought leader. Part of this course will also help you identify and engage prospective home buyers. So if you've wondered how can you use sites like even Instagram or LinkedIn to help you identify and engage prospective buyers, this is going to help you out, as well as develop a winning social media strategy for your business in 2017 and beyond. So let's face it, real estate and social media go hand in hand. I've got some really key statistics to share with you here in a moment. Social media is not going away. So this is the preferred means of marketing going forward. And if you started using it and you need a little bit of help with really making sense of it, this is the course for you. If you're not using it at all, then you absolutely need to go ahead and sign up today. Now let's talk about the evolution of real estate sales and marketing. On the left-hand side, you see an example of what looks to be a classified listing from the 80s, 90s, even early 2000s, pre-Zillow and pre-Realtor.com. I remember growing up as a kid, my mom and dad would have open houses every Saturday and Sunday, and this was their means of marketing. They would put an ad in the Sun Sentinel, which is the newspaper in South Florida, and they would just rely on people showing up because of the classified listing. And when you look at how technology has helped disrupt real estate and how this shift is occurring, today people aren't turning to the newspaper because, quite frankly, all the information that you used to be able to get on the newspaper on that Saturday or Sunday now is on your iPhone or your Android device. It's called going to Zillow. It's called going to Realtor.com. You can download mobile apps that give you access to listing. You can go online. If I'm looking to buy a house here in suburban San Francisco, I can go onto any one of these sites, and within minutes I can type in a home that's within my price range with the bathrooms that I want. If I want to buy a newer house, I can research, and I can get all this information without ever having to make a phone call. And quite frankly, that's what today's consumer is relying on. They're relying on technology. And a 2016 National Association of Realtor Profile Buyers and Sellers revealed that of all respondents, 51% of buyers indicated that they found the home that they purchased through the internet. Now, that's not to say that they didn't work with a real estate agent, because as you very well know, you really can't go through this process without working through an agent unless you go represent yourself and you go through a for sale by owner and you know the contracts and you know the business inside out. You really can't buy a house or even sell a house on your own without having knowledge. However, you can use the internet for researching purposes, and this is what a lot of even sellers are doing. And I know for a fact this is what most buyers, 51% of buyers are saying that they're using the internet to find the home that they purchased. You kind of look at this breakdown here, and then 34% said that they found the home that they purchased through a real estate agent, which means that they might have gone to kellerwilliams.com and they might have contacted an agent that way. They might have even gone on Facebook and contacted an agent, and then the agent does all the research and due diligence for them. But then you see this very steep decline from real estate agent down to less than 10% for everything from a yard sign, open house sign, on down to friend, relative, neighbor, on down to print. You see this large decline. Now, what I really want to do is help all of you generate much more referrals through your personal brand and what personal branding and social media will do to help you in your business. So ideally, what I really want is to take right around that 8% that you see friend, relatives, or neighbors. Those are also known as referrals. Let's go ahead and get you guys to the point that anytime someone thinks about buying or selling a home in your key market, the first thing they think about is your name, and the first instinct that they take is to go ahead and share your name and your contact info, even if it's just sharing your Facebook page, that person that knows you, that person that keeps seeing you in their news feed, what we really want is for them to be so inclined to go ahead and share your information with that person that they know that's in the market for a home. Now, a big demographic out there that you need to really be focusing on is millennial home buyers. And I know that I often get asked from agents. I've had this question asked to me from agents with Keller Williams throughout this course, that they say that their primary market of who they're looking to do business with is 55 and older. That's fine. You can still reach this demographic through social media. A lot of 55 and older buyers or sellers you're going to be able to find easily through Facebook, because that's where they're going to engage with their kids and their grandkids even. But millennials, as of 2015, make up the largest demographic of home buyers at 35%. In fact, the median age of first-time home buyers is 30 years old. This is the sweet spot. And for those of you that aren't aware, millennials make up a large demographic ranging from the age of 18 years old on the way on up to 34. Your average 18 to 22-year-old probably isn't going to necessarily be on social media looking for you necessarily to buy a house. However, as you start thinking, once millennials are out of college and they're getting good jobs and they're getting married and having kids, typically that happens between the age of, I'd say, 25, 26, all the way on up to their early 30s. So this is why this demographic is extremely important for all of you as agents, because this is a sweet spot for a buyer who has these life-altering changes. When someone graduates college and they get their first job, chances are within the first year they're going to look to move out of their apartment or out of their parents' house into a home. Within the first couple of years of getting married and millennials having kids, they're going to look to go ahead and upgrade their space. I tell you a market that's often not talked about enough, and that's actually your more of late millennials to early Generation X. Think about what happens once a late millennial or an early Gen Xer starts to go through changes in their life that aren't necessarily getting married or have kids. You have, high divorce rates. And this is something that's often not talked about a lot, but you have high divorce rates, and you often have people that are looking to sell homes when they're getting divorced, because at that point they go from having a dual income household to single income household. So what's great about social media in a way, even though situations like this aren't very favorable, is you can really use social media to target people when they're going through these life changes. You can literally run Facebook ads targeting people who are expecting a child, people who recently got married within the last year. You can target people who are going through divorces. So social media is an extremely powerful medium for all of you, because you have access to all this data. Now let's talk about millennials for a minute. The average home price the millennial is buying, according to the NAR Home Buyer and Seller Generational Trends Report, is $187,000. Once again, interest-based advertising on Facebook allows you to target not only based on age, location, demographic, but also you can target based on household income. So if you know that the average household income is right around $77,000 annually for a millennial home buyer, you can also run Facebook ads based on household income. Now, nearly all buyers of this report indicated that they use the internet and a real estate agent in the home search process. So once again, how's this work? The millennial goes online, they type in San Francisco real estate, chances are they go to Zillow, chances are they go to realtor.com, chances are they never land on your website in particular, but if you're a listing agent, they're going to learn about you directly through that listing. At least you hope they are. Or if you're advertising actively on social media and on the internet through things like Google display ads, even advertising on Realtor, Zillow.com, then they're going to go ahead and be much more inclined to contact you. So like I said earlier on, the real estate agent and social media really go hand in hand through the process. And then 87% of millennials, as well as Generation X surveyed, said that they use an agent to help them find a home. Now, let's talk about the real estate industry and social media. This is a little bit older of a survey, but according to the 2013-2014 Realtor Technology Survey, Facebook and LinkedIn, according to respondents, are the most used social networks, with Facebook being 77% and LinkedIn being 75%. Now, this is, once again, a almost 4-year-old survey. I would almost be willing to bet that today Facebook is definitely still at the lead, probably much higher than 77%. And then you probably have Instagram that's right behind Facebook. And I'm going to get into this in a little bit, how you can use Instagram to help promote your listings. LinkedIn, while it's still a valuable social network for B2B, it's not necessarily the best social network for real estate agents to find buyers and sellers. 91% of surveyed agents said that they use social media to some extent. And this is really important for you to know here because, once again, this is an almost 4-year-old survey, and the majority of the industry, close to 100% of agents back then, indicate they're using social media to some extent. Sites such as Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram do allow for cross-promotion of listings on your website, as well as Zillow and Realtor.com. So chances are you have your inventory on a combination of websites out there. What's great about social media is that you can go ahead and share your listings across all of these sites. And there's something I'm a big fan of called omni-channel presence. Having an omni-channel presence on social media indicates that you are using these mediums as distribution platforms to get the word out on as many touch points as possible. As I'm sure you might be aware, sites like even LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, all the content that you put in these sites get indexed and picked up by Google. So when Google crawls the internet to see what's out there, if you're putting your content across all these social networks and you've got keywords in your content like the city where you're an agent, let's just say San Francisco because that's where I live, you have keywords like real estate, you have keywords like Keller Williams, you have keywords like new homes. When someone goes and runs a Google search and they type in these keywords, typically someone will type San Francisco real estate in a Google search or San Francisco new homes in a Google search. The more content that you have sitting out there with these keywords, the higher likelihood you have of being found over any other agent, whether they're a Keller Williams agent or not. So once again, having an omni-channel presence on social media is very important for you. Now, 77% of brand conversations on social media are people looking for advice, information, or help. Why is this important to all of you? Well, let's face it. Most people are using social media as a way to go ahead and ask their friends for advice. So if you're actively using these platforms to go ahead and post information in regards to your business, what's going to happen? When someone says, I am looking for a real estate agent or I'm looking to go ahead and buy a house, then there's going to be a higher likelihood that someone's going to think of you and they're going to refer you to their friends. Now, according to Bright Local, 88% of people say that they trust online reviews by other consumers as much as they trust recommendations from personal contacts. This is important for all of you to note because chances are you have a Facebook page, but chances are on your Facebook page you're not asking for referrals or you're not asking for recommendations. So the way your Facebook page works today is almost like a website. You can go ahead and use your Facebook page to have clients, either past or present, go ahead and leave reviews for you on your Facebook page. So when someone learns about you and they go to your Facebook page, what you want is for them to go ahead and read these amazing reviews about you. Now, building social media strategy is where all of this begins. Before you go ahead and start creating loads of content on Instagram or on Facebook or Twitter, it's really important that you first identify who are you trying to reach. And I say this because the way each social network operates is not all inclusive. There's no silver bullet to using social media in one capacity in one social network and really being able to apply the same tactics everywhere. Each one of these social networks all operate differently. So it's important that you know this because going into this process, you really need to have an understanding of how LinkedIn is different than Facebook. How is Twitter different from Snapchat? What are the key advantages and features that you have of using Instagram? So first of all, who are you trying to reach? Are they buyers? Are they sellers? Are they renters? Or are they investors? I can tell you for a fact, if you're looking to find investors, chances are you should be using LinkedIn to go ahead and use that for more of networking. If you're looking to go ahead and find buyers or renters, you can use sites like Twitter to run very simple searches to identify who's looking to move into a particular area. If you're looking to go ahead and find sellers, this is where you really want to be using a site like Facebook to run targeted ads based on interest and also be able to drive referrals. The next is what platforms are your target demographic on? So a site like Snapchat is going to skew much younger than Facebook. The audience on Snapchat is proven to be much younger on Snapchat. That's not necessarily a bad thing. If you're looking to engage millennials, then you should absolutely have a presence on Snapchat. Next, how are you going to reach them? So it comes down to, are you going to go heavy with promoted posts? Do you have a budget to run ads on Facebook? I have seen both marketers as well as real estate agents that are wildly successful using sites like Facebook to run ads without ever really even creating content or putting what's known as organic content. The last is, what are you going to put in front of your audience? So this is really important to note because content is king. You often will hear marketers say this: content is king. Content is the life of everything that you put out on social media. And I will say this: content typically has a very short lifespan. We're talking about lifespan about 24 hours on social media. So you have to decide, are you going to put videos such as home tours on social media? Are you going to put photos of your listings? Are you going to put blog posts in which you are creating content around your listings? Or maybe you're putting advice for home buyers. Maybe what you're doing is you're sharing local news. Maybe part of those blogs that you put is you're viewed as a community resource and you're talking about latest happenings in your community. Maybe you're putting out home buying tips. And I tell you, I'm a big fan of using content on sites like Forbes or Fortune, which tend to post advice for home buyers or advice for sellers. You'll find content online about what prospective home buyers need to know about securing financing or securing a mortgage. You'll often see articles about the top 25 cities for millennials, top 25 cities for young professionals. This is all content that you need to determine right away what's going to live on your social media channels, and does it really provide value for the audience that you're trying to reach. So once you determine your social media strategy and what audience you're trying to reach, the next is, what social media channels are you trying to use? Over the next 3 to 6 months, where can you devote at least 1 hour per day to engage and post? Social media, friends, is not a resource that you can just post content, walk away, and hope that people click back to your website and hit you up for a referral. You actually have to put time into this. If you're not going to be dedicated to at least one channel, meaning one social network, then you really shouldn't even be playing in the sandbox. So you don't have to be everywhere to be successful, but you have to be consistently good at least somewhere. So really ask yourself, where can you devote at least 1 hour per day, which is that one channel that's going to drive the most ROI for you. Next, where is your target demographic engaged the most? So you're probably asking yourself, well, Carlos, what is that one channel that I should really spend the most time? And I'll throw that back at you. Who's your target demographic? If your target demographic are millennials and they're younger prospective clients, maybe you should go all in Instagram. Maybe it should be just Snapchat. If you're trying to reach a little bit older, mature of an audience, if you're trying to reach people like investors, maybe. If you're trying to reach sellers, maybe you should just go all in on Facebook. And then set forth 2 goals. So what you really want to do is you want to give yourself goals. You don't want to go into this blindly and not have any goals and just say, I'm going to figure this out as I go along. Don't try to fake it till you make it. Have goals and really start off with 2 new referrals either per week or per month as a result of engaging consistently. Start off conservatively and have a goal of, in your first month, you want to get 2 referrals from social media. And then from there, once you get 2 referrals, make it 2 referrals per week. If you're using social media consistently and you are building a personal brand, let's do the math real quick. 2 referrals per week over a 52-week period of a year is 104 referrals. Whether they close a house with you or not, let's say you have a conversion rate of 1/4 of those referrals actually convert into a sale or into a client. That's 26 new sales that you would have just by investing an hour a day on real estate, or I'm sorry, on social media. I'm not sure how much your commission rates are, but 26 new clients times your average commission rate, that's a nice chunk of change. So think about that as you start weighing the value that social media brings to your business. Now let's talk about building a personal brand, because personal branding is everything in this. I can teach you how to be the best marketer on social media, and I can teach you the tactics and how to use Instagram and Snapchat and Facebook ads. But if you're not building a personal brand, then all you're doing is just tactics. You're not creating anything that's going to be relevant for yourself and for a prospective community out there. So why does personal branding matter? Well, depending on what industry you're in, if you're in sales, people do business with who they feel comfortable doing business with. That's not just a real estate thing. That's just sales 101, and that's really marketing 101. Since the beginning of time, people are going to do business with who they feel comfortable doing business with. Now, some effective personal branding tips for you are, first of all, you need to have a professional headshot on all your social networks. I completely get it. You look at social networks like Facebook or Instagram, it's a little bit more personal. But guess what? If you're using these mediums to really present yourself in the best light as a real estate professional, you need to have a professional headshot. And it goes without saying that you absolutely need to have one on LinkedIn as well. Filling out your bio on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook is an absolute must. Once again, and I'll add even Google Plus and LinkedIn into this. These are all social networks that are getting crawled by Google on a daily basis. So you definitely want to ensure that you have keywords on each one of these profiles in your bio. So if it's a profile on Twitter, you want to make sure you have the keywords being real estate agent, the city where you do real estate in, and even add in Keller Williams, because let's face it, Keller Williams is one of the largest real estate companies in the world. Next is having a polished LinkedIn profile. And having a polished LinkedIn profile is having a clean headshot with your headline and your summary filled out, and then post at least 1 to 2 times per day per channel to stay relevant and top of mind. Make sure that you're leveraging Twitter to have community conversations unrelated to real estate but centric to your city or town. So what I really mean by this is, if you really want to build a personal brand within the city in which you operate and do business, and you want for people in that city to immediately think of you anytime they think about buying or selling, renting or investing in a home, then you need to post content related to the city in which you're in. This is everything from grand openings of restaurants, new home communities that are opening up, companies and employers that are coming into your city or area. Make sure you're even creating content when you go to these places. And then leverage Instagram to engage in community-specific hashtags. So I want to note that Instagram allows you to put up to 30 hashtags in your content. Make sure that you are leveraging Instagram, and you are, as you're going out to restaurants in your community, as you're going to grand openings, as you're going to sporting events, concerts, anything that you do in your community that doesn't involve selling houses or open houses, make sure that you're tagging this content with hashtags relevant to your community. Everything from, if it's Nashville, Tennessee, hashtag Nashville events, hashtag Tennessee. You can go ahead and do research. You can go on Instagram, hit that search button, go ahead and type in hashtag Nashville or hashtag the city that you live in, and then you'll see all the relevant hashtags. Make sure at the end of the day that you're creating content that's relevant to your community and you are tagging it so it can be found. Now let's talk about real estate and Snapchat. So Inman recently came out with the top real estate agents to watch on Snapchat. I encourage that you go ahead and you take a look at this list. In fact, there are some Keller Williams agents on the list. There's also some friends on this list as well. And I'm really proud to see that they were recognized by Inman, which, as you might already know, is a pretty well-known publication in the real estate industry. Now, I want to share with you some examples of how Snapchat's being used in the real estate industry. And before I do that, I want to give you some insight that Snapchat is known as a storytelling social network. Content on Snapchat is short. It's typically created and consumed in the form of video. And I often like to compare Snapchat to Twitter meets YouTube. The short content analogy is Twitter. The video analogy is YouTube. Think of Snapchat as like your rolling 24-hour reality show. That's the easiest way for me to put Snapchat in layman terms for a marketer, for a real estate agent. This is your rolling 24-hour reality show. Content that you create on Snapchat is only available to be seen within the 24-hour period. The majority of content created and consumed is in the form of video, and the content you create is in 10-second intervals known as snaps. You can record up to a minute of video content at a time, but Snapchat will break that content up into 10-second increments. So when you look on the left-hand side, you see snap listings. That is at what looks to be a house that they're getting ready to either renovate or prepare for a listing. You see in the middle there, you see Tudor-style houses. You see the date. You see the Happy Wednesday, what's known as filter being used. You see top Florida realtor in the middle, offer being submitted, wish me luck. Now, why would, as an agent, you go ahead and really talk about what you do, things like having offers submitted for clients? Well, let's think about it. Once again, people relate to other people. Part of building a personal brand is being personable. That's something I think a lot of people miss out on. Having a personal brand is not just to sell more things. It's not just to go ahead and make more money or be more marketable, but the key word is personal. It's to be viewed as someone who's personable. And knowing that Snapchat is your own micro social media reality TV show, you want to keep people engaged with what's going on. On the far right hand side, you see my friend Jason Frazier, which is known as the real estate CIO, and he is actually a mortgage home lender, and he uses Snapchat to only engage with other agents, but to go ahead and talk about the industry. And he uses Snapchat as a way to build relevancy within the real estate industry. So let's face it, he advertises his brokerage, Mason McDuffie Mortgage, as you see there. And by using Snapchat, he's using this as a way to get referral business from agents all over the country. So it's a very powerful tool for all of you. Now, as we go ahead and look to move forward here, here's some best practices that you can implement right away into your real estate business. First of all, promoting your open houses should be really easy with using Facebook ads. You can use Facebook ads to target virtually any demographic or persona. You can also target users on Facebook based on age, income. You can target users based on interests. So once again, if someone's getting married, if they're having a child, you can target interest-based ads that way with Facebook. You can go ahead, and if you have an open house, you can put that open house as a Facebook ad, and you can tap into Facebook's data to make sure that prospective home buyers in your area see that open house listing. You can use relevant hashtags on Twitter and Instagram. So if you have an open house, you can create what's known as a gallery post on Instagram with up to 10 photos, and you can tag it up with up to 30 hashtags to ensure that that post gets out and it's seen. You can also schedule Facebook Live or Periscope as a virtual home tour. And I'm seeing this happen and pop up all the time with agents using live video as a way to promote their open houses. I talked before about cross-channel promotion. Make sure you're getting your content on as many networks as possible. And then here are some possible questions to ask clients on social media, and this makes for good social media content as well. Are you in the market for a home, or do you know someone that is? What's important for you in your next home purchase? And can I make a suggestion or recommendation on where to? These are all questions that you should consistently be putting out there, whether it's on Twitter, whether it's on Facebook, or even sites like LinkedIn. Ask these questions to get people to talk. Now, how do you make your content look good and stand out and not just use text or video? I use a platform called Canva. It's a free tool. You can go to canva.com. It's almost like using Photoshop for dummies. And what's really neat about Canva is you have access to different templates based on the different social networks. So each one of the social networks all have different size specifications. You can use Canva to create just listed information, or I'm sorry, just listed templates and cards like you see here in front of you. You can also create cards for clients of yours. So anytime they buy a house, you can go ahead and you can create this card. You can customize it with the look and feel of your brand. You can customize it with their name, anything that you want to say. And just like you would with your just listed for an open house that you would put on your Facebook page or on your Instagram, you can do the same with congratulating your clients. So make sure you look into Canva as a resource. As we go ahead and look to wrap up, here are some next steps that you can apply. I welcome you to join the private Facebook group that I've set up. You can go to bit.ly/KW4Maps. This is a free group on Facebook. It's called Social Media Mastermind. You can go to this group. It is case sensitive, so make sure that you go to bit.ly/K, capital W, 4, capital M, and then lowercase APS. So KW4Maps. Go to that group. Join the group. It's a great resource for you to connect with me as well as other agents. There's a lot of networking and questions that are asked in that group. In fact, throughout the 4-week course, we use that group on a weekly basis for Q&A, and then you'll often see a lot of those questions answered within the context of the following week's course or class. Also, make sure you update your LinkedIn profile with the basics. This is having a professional headshot as your photo, have a cover photo, have a summary as well as headline, and then invite myself to connect with you on LinkedIn. So if I can be a resource for you, it'd be my honor. And then pick one social network. So whether it's Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, make this your home base for all things social media and connect with me on there. And if you have any questions, you can ask those by sending me an email to carlos@carlosgill.biz. Now, as we look to move forward, once again, we have the next social media marketing for real estate agents class starting this Thursday, August 3rd at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time, 9 a.m. Pacific. It does involve 4 one-hour weekly seminars with 30 minutes of Q&A. All webinars are recorded and available for playback at your convenience. The cost to sign up is a one-time investment of $297. However, you can save $50 today by using the promo code SAVE50 when you go to mapscoaching.kw.com/social-media-real-agents, or I'm sorry, -estate-agents. So I highly recommend that you sign up for the course. I hope that you'll sign up. I want to thank you all for your time. I hope to see you on Thursday. And with that, I will open it up for a few minutes of Q&A. Okay, so Mark here asks, what is the Gen X range? I believe, Mark, I want to say that Generation X ranges. I know that millennials are 18 to 34. I'm running a very quick search here on Google to find that out. It says here, Harvard Business Center uses 1965 to 1981 for Generation X. I'm sorry, 1961 to 1981 for Generation X. It says here, Janice says we cannot cut and paste testimonials across networks, so we have to choose one network to build testimonials. I definitely would say Facebook is where you should be going for all things testimonials. You can also use Canva to take your testimonials and create a, that's actually a really good question. You should use Canva to go in and take your testimonials and create content with them. Use Facebook for all testimonials and also use Canva to create content visually with them. And then share on Twitter, Instagram, etc. I like that. It's a great question by Janice. Jennifer here asks, should you do posts on social media once a day? How many times is too much? You definitely should post at least once a day on Facebook. You should look to post at least a few times a day on Twitter to stay relevant, and then do one post on Instagram. Is using Hootsuite a good practice to be more efficient hitting all platforms? And this is asked by Andrew. The answer is absolutely yes. So in the course, I talk about tools that you can use to be more effective and efficient with your time. So I personally recommend Hootsuite as well as Buffer. The Facebook link to the group is bit.ly, so bit.ly/KW4Maps. K and W are capitalized, that's number 4, and then M in Maps is capitalized. Nancy wants to know, what's the promo code to sign up? The promo code is SAVE50. Teresa wants to join the group on Facebook. Absolutely, you can join. It is free. If you have multiple locations, do you recommend having different pages for each location on Facebook? No, have one location. I believe with Facebook now, if you have multiple locations, you can add all of those within one page. Michael here says, can you recommend a source to help one set up a landing page for Facebook ads? There's a lot of agencies out there, Michael, but actually I do recommend use Elance. Elance is a really good service that you can get some social media help. Also look into Fiverr. Caitlin wants to know, have you ever used Pinterest as a source to generate leads? Absolutely. So I didn't mention Pinterest in this webinar, but Pinterest is a platform that I do cover briefly in the course and I do talk about. I do recommend that you take all of your content that you have on your website for inventory and share that on your Pinterest. It's a great question. Brian says here, will you be teaching this course in the future? Going away for a couple weeks and I want to be able to ask questions at the end. Yeah, you can either do a couple things, Brian. You can sign up for the course and you can watch the replays and then ask me questions afterwards, or we will be offering another course in the fall after Mega Camp. Christina says, how much do you recommend spending on Facebook per month to start seeing results? My recommendation to you, Christina, and for other agents out there is that you start with at least $500 of monthly budget on Facebook. When you use the Canva program, who do you send your completed projects to for printing? Do they print pretty well? Yeah, so Canva allows you to save your images as a high-res PNG file. You can either just save that to your computer and you can use that on social, or you can send it to FedEx Office or whoever you use for printing. Nancy says here, asks, when dealing with higher price homes, 600,000 and up, what channel would you promote? Traditionally, newspapers have worked well for me, but I see it not being as effective. Nancy, I would recommend Facebook ads all day. Facebook ads is what I recommend to anyone as the preferred medium for any sort of advertising online. Sean here asks, how do you use the hashtags efficiently on Instagram, as some are more overused than others? There's no scientific data with this, Sean, but I've actually been told this by a lot of friends who are marketers in the industry to use hashtags that are not the ones that are predominantly used. So what you do is when you go to run a search for specific hashtags, let's say instead of using Nashville, you look at the ones that have maybe been used 2,000 to 5,000 times. That way you have a higher likelihood of your hashtag being featured in the search results for a lot longer period of time. So maybe you use things like Nashville events or Nashville restaurants. Michelle asks, what are your thoughts on personal Facebook pages and professional? That's a question that gets asked a lot in the course. I absolutely recommend that you have one of each. All right, and this is the last question that I'm going to answer. Mark here asks, if I'm on a budget, what would be the #1 marketing tool? I'd say Facebook all day. Facebook is very hard to be on social media without. You absolutely need to be on it, even if you have a very small budget. Definitely use that as your home base on on social media. I see there's some other questions here. Unfortunately, I'm not able to get to all of them because of time. Once again, I want to thank all of you for participating today. Please be sure to sign up for the course. And if I can answer any questions for you, you can join the Facebook group, or you can send me an email directly at carlos@carlosgill.biz. So with that, thank you so much, and I look forward to hearing from you and participating with you on Thursday. Take care.